Hey everybody, how goes it? My name is Jamor and welcome back to Tales of Arise. We are leaving the planet. There are at least two more areas in this game. LENEGIS and Rena. And I won't be able to finish fishing until we get to Rena. I don't know if I have to finish it. That's what I know. Set up here because I can't do it ahead of time and stuff. Wish I could. Title. Currently bad. No, it's not. They spelled it wrong. And temporary generic thumbnail. Goes to the right playlist. So maybe close to finishing today, hopefully finish tomorrow. I'm gonna try and start earlier so I can get a jump on recording Dark Pictures House of Ashes. Chat test taking a while. Okay.
What do you say we check back in on the RAN?
I know. Wait for the money. I don't know if it shows you if Zoogles get them, or if that just means it didn't, you know, fully grow. Yeah. And the bone. Okay. Go. Alright, here we go. I think they would have taken the plants off it at least and checked the exterior, but why? Take off. Ain't nothing else for me to do. I'm beating the lights already.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
Here we go.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law,
Yeah.
don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
Oh.
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Called that
Well,
one I
after all
stole.
the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
What was that?
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Little.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any.
Oh.
From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Sure.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to LENEGIS and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
Like, this seems like it'd be the middle of the game. Because you're headed towards a whole planet-like satellite and an entire planet. You would think changing planets would be like a late game. There was a glitch there, that light of Paris is still there. Hey, we left the planet. Pretty. What the hell's with Rena?
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing
Where are all
world.
those continents at that I never really got to?
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach LENEGIS?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
No!
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a
Music's
zest
drowning
for life.
out.
It suits you.
Someone said there's an owl on here. Either here or on the boat, and if it's on the boat, I missed it. Shut up, music, I'm trying to hear the hoo hoo hoo. Okay. Okay. There aren't really much facilities, are there? Alright, I guess I'll start the front and come way back. These things change. What is this marker I'm standing on?
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left LENEGIS? I guess even someone like you can get...
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. You too have a history with LENEGIS. A traumatic one, no less. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what...
I see.
We're gonna be killing
Don't
probably a
worry.
good amount of people now.
Forgive me. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking...
Car. Thorough, yes, thorough. Hi, Shion.
We'll be going to LENEGIS soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on LENEGIS like back then?
Let's just say
Sucked.
I don't have many happy memories. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
How'd she get
You
away?
mean they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse.
Sounds fun.
Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
Great.
A world free of sacrifice.
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to
We're all in
win.
this
There can be no
together.
room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end.
You bet we can pull it off. We have to.
Yeah, you're right. We can do this. Together.
Cool. Cool. Great. Cool. Yep. Hey, lovebirds. You flirting again?
Hey, Alvin, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking, and
Hey, shut up!
And what's got Law all flustered?
only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology.
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alvin, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alvin. It's just wrong, okay?
Okay. There's supposed to be one on the ship. I think they mean the boat, which isn't good.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped LENEGIS, that's all. What with Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that'd mean...
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
what do
Why
you
did it
mean?
Wake up so long.
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we...
Of course. That's why you came with us, right?
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't... The world's bigger than just Menancia. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Yeah. Fuck, go home again. I got stuck.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it,
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, LENEGIS is... Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass. Denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to.
Not even
Still,
to be soldiers?
even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danon. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts.
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you?
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is as if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
I want to remind
got a
everyone,
lot to answer for.
I called that lady
Just
being
as well I've got a
suspicious
ton of questions.
in like hour 4.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion,
Also, is anyone still going to be alive considering the satellite opened up to space with the city visible? Like, you can see buildings and all. Are they still okay? Or are they dead?
there's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but
That one's
still.
upside down.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Yeah, but they'd sense it, wouldn't they?
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
Too late.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
Wherever the hell he was.
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone.
Ooh, spooky.
That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
And you really think we're not going to have to
Forbidden?
fight our way through the
What are they
Forbidden
hiding?
Zone?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
But wouldn't they need another maiden
It stands to
and
reason
sovereign?
we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right.
Oh, they expecting him to
knows?
come back 300
We
years
might
later.
even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone.
In what, like 20 minutes? I'm only getting
Beyond that
now.
wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city.
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want...
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we...
Oh, only one. Oh, man. I guess it was on the boat, which means I missed it. Make sure everything is correct. It is. I don't know why they're hurt. I rested before this. And it still looks like there's room for 2 more people, which is weird. I mean, technically you can reduce your party, but we should add 2 more characters. See? I knew it! Opening that up was just a problem. It's not good. Not good or what? Not only fast travel. I called it.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
The freaking city opening up.
When LENEGIS changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Oh no shit, it opened.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
No.
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Who's
Someone
gonna
you know?
say it?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well.
Then
It
be
looks like
gone.
we'll have to find
Where
the way
you
there
stay.
ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Doe?
Okay. Right there, Red. I'm gonna call
So
it
who's
Joe.
Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of LENEGIS are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here.
We need more information.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden...
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on LENEGIS has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if...
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people. It's just...
Power.
unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
Let me think
From how
about
it
this
looks,
for a second.
they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be
This
sufficient.
reminds me of Fairy
Not while
Tail.
we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
I'll get to it.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when LENEGIS was built, it was even made with...
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that in...
Ordinarily, yes. Trust me. As far as we were concerned, LENEGIS was our home, nothing more. No one knew about. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry.
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something to...
Yeah, you're right, Shion.
Done? Okay. This reminds me of Fairy Tail. The anime, manga, whatever. There's an arc in that where, like, the characters meet otherworld versions of themselves. Like, alternate universe. And what happened was, this alternate universe didn't have magic. It had magic items, but not the same kind of magic the main characters had. And the person in charge of this other universe was stealing magic and magic people from the main universe because they didn't have any. They were running out. What if that's what's happening here? That they're taking the astral energy they need to use their astral arsenal from Dana and trying to, like, charge Rena with it. Like, a terraforming, kind of. Like, they're trying to make Rena the same as Dana so that the planet creates astral energy and they don't need to form it from slaves. They can just use it. That's what this is starting to seem like. What's up, buddy? Good for you. Let's see. I'll probably heal there. Might be a treasure chest here. Maybe back in this corner too. Let's go this way first. I think that kid in the middle is dead. I'll get you in a minute, old man. What the hell is he doing? Oh. That's one way to fight fires. Chest, I know it. See? I told you it's a bad idea. Nobody listens to me. What's up, old timer?
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Right.
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it.
Wasn't Volron the Sovereign, though?
But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First LENEGIS mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
You know, it would have been cool if that flappy flap that's on her hip, whatever that thing is, that tassel, if that was the mace. Like, she took that off and it transformed into the mace. That would have been such a cool little detail. Ew, talk. Hey, you, talk. Oh, sorry. Well, that's kind of horrible. You got this guy trying to put out a fire, that is trapping these two kids. This guy wants him to jump, and this guy's like, oh boy, look at that. Heal. Oh, hell yeah. I made a parfait.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Alright.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you.
Sure.
I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned.
Good for you.
I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that.
Yeah,
I imagine
so
she'd
weird no one
stand out
noticed her.
somewhat too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time.
It's so weird that none of them noticed her, and the whole time I was just like, what is with this lady? Okay. I am back there. Hey, lady.
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth. That LENEGIS is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over LENEGIS?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and LENEGIS.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling LENEGIS alone would be difficult enough.
I thought Volron
The points
was
you
the
make are
sovereign.
valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
That's suspicious.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not.
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on LENEGIS has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on LENEGIS single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over LENEGIS from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Suspicious.
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and LENEGIS. Thereafter,
Sacrifices, aren't they?
that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent.
Do you even know who
As
it
for
is?
how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on LENEGIS. Now, 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because...
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganeth Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman...
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems...
Yes, then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right... Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only...
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself.
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't...
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out...
It's still too early to say.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed.
Oh my gosh, there's more!
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become...
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are...
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be...
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously.
Okay. And the water stopped. Another cutscene, yay!
If nobody left to run the show, I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their...
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do...
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see LENEGIS, Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city...
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring? Every lord in their household has their share of support. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana.
Okay. Found a thing. More talking, why not? Maybe. Or wolf seed. Teldalis? What? Teldalis.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
Creepy.
It's possible. change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Hey, it's her again. I'm not reading these. Yep. Yep. We know about Dolan moving with us.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
Got him. There aren't that many here. Also, Gohaleen and whoever this is.
What?
I probably killed your sons.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
It must be... I'm not here. I can... fast travel. Make sure no quest opens up. It must be in the next area. They're not here.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district route. Went through.
Indeed. The effects of LENEGIS' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Sure.
Pardon me.
Guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Yeah, about her. Take a pee break soon. It's taking forever. As soon as I finish this.
Ridiculous. Okay.
Oh yeah, Volron was a usurper. Okay.
It seems like the people on LENEGIS don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary.
Maybe.
Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
Well, that's great.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them.
Yeah, despite the brutality,
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the...
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying, but at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. So I guess...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things?
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust.
Yay. Hooray. I got money. I hope I would've got enough XP for that. I will be right back and take a quick bathroom break. let's move on with this. My anecdotes in there right here, there should be, yeah. And a box up here too. What are you doing sitting here?
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
Yeah, the sacrifices or something.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on LENEGIS?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting LENEGIS from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a...
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there...
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly...
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a dark...
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might...
No use standing around here chatting about it then.
Oh, just suspicious. Suspicious. Anything hiding back here? Nope. Anything over there? Nope.
Doe?
Uh-oh.
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
Yeah.
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord,
Bullshit.
you still... Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit.
Bullshit.
But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
You already know this is bullshit. Oh, look who's here. Oh, his shirt's freaking out. It's all stuttery.
Dohalim.
I
know he didn't
apologize
want to
that you
kill
had to
him.
witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, You mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Yeah, we know he's innocent in that he told the guy to stop. Yeah, I was like, no, I can still do this thing, guys. How's it going, man? I don't think you're hurting it that much. Okay, good luck with that. Yeah, you too. Good luck with that. She's gonna do something to her to make it something we have to fight. I just know it. Oh boy, that is an inn and a shop. That's weird. Why not? It's like talking to all these people, they're not gonna turn anything interesting. I'm curious to see what these call phase. A lot of talking, a lot of walking. Back to talking again.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A
Yeah, but he
friendship
had
based
red
on
hair.
mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing.
It's beautiful.
Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me
Not
too
really.
great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnigan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
So
but
what?
If you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Not easy.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
I kind of missed where he did some dirty trick. I don't know. He was just like...
Elfin.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Yeah, she wanted to say thank you. Water.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
I don't know how this is working, but sure. This is worth it in the long run. That's 3 wrapped pig meats worth HP. And if I get more than 3, I'm good. We have new ones. Oh my god. Oh my god. That thing is a cannon. It looks like she'll tip over. I have to sell old armor and some old... Wow, that's cool. Pink protector. I can make both of these. I need money. I can make both of these. I can't make those one. And let me make sure I don't need any of these weapons. this one. It's still worse than that fire one. Holy crap. So hers would be last. I got tickets. Last. Ooh, God, this green is awesome. I need so much money. Let me see. Okay, the diamond stuff, it's worse than what I have. For literally everybody. Heavy treats. Oh, I could buy heavy treats. I'm gonna sell my other ones. I'm gonna sell my peach dinners. So, keep the lemons and the grapes. I mean, everything's like twice as much, so I don't need to do this. Which one gets lower, use the pineapple gel. Keep the gold gel just in case, but I don't really need it. I need these. And all these down to 20. No. A little risky. I'm gonna need food. Every bit of money I can get. I think the rat pig meat's gonna be the lowest I do. I'll bring that down to 10. Good money for that. I need fish. In case I need the other thing. I gotta keep these at 20. Might be multiple weapons that need them. Boy, am I glad I have that thing that reduced the crafting cost. I would be grinding like there's no tomorrow and I'd be so angry. I had a hard enough time just with the money stuff to this. I'm gonna make improvement weapons. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Anything that's not like supreme and all the basic stuff. Basic rifles and bow. Basic group of blood. Green. Yes. You can. Screen. Unlock yellow. I'm not gonna sell all that today, actually. Don't switch armors because there's no point to it. Just keep wearing the best one you got. Nose, no others here. So there's money. That's what I cannot make that, but I can make the giant cannon, which is a slight boost, but it's a boost nonetheless. I can make both of hers, neither of them are a particular thing. Like it doesn't enhance any particular stat. So I can make it. Like that's an actual big boost. It's like 40s and 30s. Hers is like 16. That's a boost. I can't make this. I can make this. It's a big boost. I can make this. Because it might be like a part 4. Let me switch it though, because it's much worse. Even this is much worse. Just this ring, practice quick, nice one. And you, Mantis, whatever, this is called Gladius ring. Nice. Restore your reign. I can't make. This rain I did make. Oh no, Postio I can. Scooping away. Not bad looking. I need a dark mane. Dark mane. Dark mane. Dark mane. Lots of stuff. So if I get a bunch of dark mane, I can come back. Four of these. Heavy trees. Give me 20 heavy trees. There's no better life bottle. And these are worse. These are much worse. Look at that. 108, 50s. A little bit worse. A little bit. Much worse. Okay.
Have you guys checked your equipment?
Let me see what the part data is. Elemental attack up.
Been lately?
Quest. I don't think the next level of training grounds opened up yet.
Damn it! LENEGIS soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight. Oh,
I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menencia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not,
If they want to fight, they got one.
Inferno! I can carve through armor! Go!
Elusive not today!
Now,
No
hear my
further!
helmet!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Night Cry!
Soaring strong!
Split it open!
Be my guest!
Glacial Fire!
I'll think
Now you're gonna tick me off! Hell! I'll take you all on!
Let's see who shields better.
Flare the Malicer!
Mine.
Look shot! Think you can fly? Do it! Inferno Crossing!
Alpin, astral energy!
Say no more!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, LENEGIS hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and
How do you
slaves
see
we
eyes
met back
in
in
them?
Ganath Haros.
I've never seen anything like that here on LENEGIS before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries.
Platinum dog tag. Woohoo! And grape gels. Wasn't for the fact that I need experience. I'd be all over that. Okay. She has 3 left. 17, 17, 16, 20. That's one here. Cause damn. Getting grape gels is nice. Oh hey, you're actually a thing. I thought you were a plant. I hear the dogs. They're gonna be dark mains. Give me some happy bottles. Ooh, they're glowing.
Out of my way!
Fire's attacking!
You're dark.
Course in this blade!
Lionheart! Ready and raring!
Power of water!
Guardian Field!
Alright, these ones can run rings around us!
Alright, let me at him!
Burn! This one's all mine!
Explosion!
Alright, let me at him!
Lightning orb!
Guardian Field! I got you!
Now we're not...
Armor won't save
Do
you!
it!
This one's plenty left!
Raging
Leave the
storm!
ensnaring to me. Yeah, and the pummeling to me.
Blizzard blow! Explosion!
The power of light!
Stalagmite!
I got you!
On your knees.
Tempest whirl!
Glacial
I can't see what's happening.
Look sharp!
Illuminate the dark! Radiant
Glacial
Holy
Fire!
Holy Land!
Lion power!
Chain between heaven and earth!
Plenty left!
Reload! A wailing banshee of lightning!
This
Okay,
should
so I
make for
need
some
lightning.
good weapon crafting material.
Has 5 dark mains. Okay, do I have any more light ones besides that? Piercing roar. Piercing roar it is. That light spear was one. I am going back. I don't have better weapons. And plus all those platinum dog tags. I'll go rest too. Change it. Sell platinum dog tags. Forge weapons. Good morning again.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Should have rested, but didn't. Oh well. Just need to heal out here.
What's with that shining foe over there?
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Take this!
Sadistic descent!
Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
Not today! This one's all mine!
I'm ready! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Got you!
On your knees.
Time to shine!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the tunneling to me!
I'm ready!
Shion! Go for it! Prepare to crumble!
That's good with this area of effect. I guess a lot of things in it.
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Got 10 dark veins. What's up, Buggy?
What's this boat? Of the trash.
Piercing roar!
Radiant
Turn!
Shield from
I
calamity.
think I'll pass on the
Carve through
handshake.
armor!
Take this!
The flames will roar.
In a bind,
Lacerating tempest!
rending you apart.
Far enough!
Not bad, eh? Plug this in. Boop. Done.
Light up the dark! Alright, let me out!
Here's evil.
Doesn't do much damage. Unfortunately.
Going in. And that's my will. Dance.
I'll take you all on!
That feels like twice as much. So it's only one hit.
Flare the Malisa!
Something.
The power of light!
Can't get out of this. To be
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
It's kind of late for that.
Piercing blade! The power of light!
More for the
Time to shine! Inferno!
Photon cut. A chain between heaven and earth.
blind you with a shot.
Stop.
Rotating fire. All right, Sonic, let me in. I'll smash you.
Sadistic descent! Surprise! I'm gone!
No dawn shall break.
Sadistic descent! No chance! No! This one's mine!
Can't get out of this.
Leave the charges to me! Time to shine! Guardian!
I'm ready.
Demons descend!
Rushing bang.
Yeah, I wanted to check what level he was and I forgot.
We won.
Yeah, but ouch.
Coming through.
Nope, wrong button.
Sadistic descent! I can read your moves like a book!
Engaging.
My shield! Lacerating tempest! The power of light!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
We're not finished! Sadistic descent! Take this!
Armor won't save you.
Piercing roar!
Rotating fire.
Leave the charges to me! Piercing roar! Lacerating tempest!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free.
Now you've gone and ticked me off! I'm gone! Who's next? Got you! Hey! Reload! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flares of Molotov! Against my full power, you didn't stand a chance.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
I will. Let me open it. Shortcake!
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Take
Now
this!
you'll know!
I owe you no chance. You're open.
You tried.
Here, lacerating violence.
How long are we gonna keep this up for?
Burn up.
You got spirit!
Appreciate the help.
Laser blow!
I'm not gonna get all of them.
Rending you apart. Bloody house. Being interrupted. Armor won't save you. Piercing wall. Do it, Eric. I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
Nice try.
What level are you? You want to
Piercing wall. Time to shine. Sadistic descent. Lacerating you. Now, Shion, go for it. Prepare to crumble.
Gone for it.
Looks like we won.
Hey. What do you say we fight that shining enemy?
I would if I could get over there.
Those
Go from here, and go right.
soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Oh, dude.
I won't forgive you.
Course in this flame!
Another incantation ruined.
On guard. Mega ray. Piercing roar.
As if the normal creeper crawlies aren't expecting enough.
That's what my shield's for. Give the fight.
No, stay here.
The water. You could use a hand.
That didn't knock it down?
You could use a hand. Negative jet. I'll take you all on. Ha! Flares of Molotov. Piercing roar. Inferno thrust. I'll smash you. Leave the chargers to me. Lion marks were interrupted. Time to shine. Inferno thrust.
In a bind?
Sadistic descent. Lacerating tactic.
Elusive deity. The flame inside me yearns to be let free.
All right. Healing out.
No dawn shall break this
Piercing
night.
roar. Time to shine. Piercing roar. Time to shine. No chance. You're open. Look sharp.
No further.
No chance. Got you. Going in. Piercing roar. Time worn up. Piercing roar. Time to shine. Armor won't save you. Get back into the fray.
Ignite.
Piercing descent. Time to shine. Do it. Elfin.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Barely a blip on our radar.
This way. Down to this mystery box.
We seem to have...
We're in for a long slog with this one. Burn up. Thanks, Shion.
Radiant light! Spirit flame! Reload!
Ow.
Not on my watch!
Leave the agile ones to me.
Barrier. Thanks,
Fall
Shion.
to thy own death!
Sadistic descent. Lacerating tactic.
Can't get out of sin.
Finish without a trace!
Time to shine.
Why did this change now?
No wailing dusty lightning!
Piss off!
Not
today!
Lion power. Light up the dark. I'm ready to go. Now you're gonna tick me off. Bloody howling. Time to shine. The power of light. I'm ready to go. I'll take you all on. Ha! Flares of Molotov. Nice try.
In a bind? The flame inside me yearns to be let free.
Got two hits.
Piercing air pressure. Burn up.
I'm ready.
All yours, Kisara.
You're open! This one's mine! Right spear!
In a bind, anything in armor is all mine.
Do it! Sadistic descent!
Demon's descent! Flashing bang! Bam!
Onward and upward.
No. I need mysterious fragment. I'll back out. Let's see. Everyone's always hurting for help. Make it.
Out of our way!
You picked the wrong fight!
The power of love! Nothing gets by me!
I can
That may
carve
prove a
through
thorn in
armor.
our side.
Barrier.
Appreciate the help!
The enemy wields armor.
This one's
Do it!
mine!
See about astral energy!
Say no more.
Surprise! On guard! Right spear! Do it! Shield!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! Nice try! Look sharp!
This one's all mine.
Lacerating catapult!
Dead.
Seems about right to me.
Dog tag, good.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Can't get out of this.
This one's all mine.
I'm the true gunslinger around here!
It's on. Damn it, Bennett. An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down.
Lion power!
Raging storm!
On guard! Right spear!
Its armor's too strong.
Split it open.
Be my guest.
I'll take you all on!
Yep.
Ha! Flare Demolitor! Dohalim!
All yours, Kisara.
These fights get really hectic.
We're not finished.
Lion power! On guard!
Not today.
Sadistic descent! Lacerating catapult! This one's mine! Lightning orb!
Dead.
Looks like we won.
Money. Teleporter. Pineapple food. Almost at 54 at some of them. Stockpiling, waiting. Stockpiling. Waiting. Stockpiling, stockpiling. Transfer. Now where are we? I wasted a happy bottle.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Okay. Dude's thingy with the eyes. He's probably gonna get new powers or something from him getting this whole sovereign thing. Wow.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
The hell is happening?
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway.
Okay, I gotta sneeze again.
So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember
I only
this
learned
time.
her name a day before.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same.
Hooray! I think.
We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people. If we didn't see the humanity in each other.
Oh, the humanity.
So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
Because everybody else treats him like dirt.
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Same thing.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
He could be Owl.
Yeah, that's right.
She really does
He's like,
look
why
like
am I
Shion.
seeing shit? I'm an owl.
I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a
Magic.
conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
Mm-hmm.
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to LENEGIS.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not...
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, reliving painful episodes from your past.
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was...
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those... I'd like to liberate them too, if I can. Which is just another reason I...
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion. Your desire to free and protect. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
I'm not just wasting these. There's a boss fight. I don't need to. Guess I leave. Or after the fight. Boss fight! And I'm boosted, so if I get anything out of it, it'll be good. It's her. Called it! Red Lady did a thing. Oh yeah, look at them eyes.
How did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Hey look, the Dark Core.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
Tormented limbs.
I've never known Faria to control Zugos like that before.
How about with the stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the... Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zugos, then we get some answers.
Don't suffer. Exploit the enemy's weakness.
The flame inside me, you're
I call upon thee!
My head.
By the power of water! Light sphere! Air thrust! Heaven and earth! Gemini aqua! Wailing Banshee steel!
No further!
Downfall! More for the stockpile! Gemini aqua! Come on!
Go, Helene. Get over here now.
Out of ammo!
I can carve through armor.
The water has creation! Stout! Guardian Field! I'm ready! I'm ready to go! Finish without a trace! I'll stop it, Chop! Thanks, Kisara!
I got spook into my eye.
Time to shine! Take this! Piercing roar! Time to shine! Anything in the world! I can carve through armor! I'll face you! Piercing roar!
She's out of it! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Back into the fray! Wait now for energy! By the power of
Piercing roar!
You picked the wrong fight!
I got you!
Fear! I'll be taking this way!
Well, now he's all speedy.
Where that came from! I can do it! Let me help!
Far enough! Sadistic mistake! Can't get out of this! Lacerating tempest!
Here's a healing arc! A wailing
Sadistic mistake! Their arcs were interrupted! Piercing roar! Time to shine! Will this help? Piercing roar! Can you take it?
Wind healing!
Time to shine! This one's all mine! Getting piercing roar!
I never miss!
Can't get out of this!
Mega ray!
Far enough! Shattering pieces! Attack time!
Mega ray!
Forgive me.
Astral energy!
Now
Now you've gone and ticked me off!
Thunderfield!
Thanks, Shion.
Raging!
I'll take you all on!
Get him up.
Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Here, let me help.
Here's the raid!
I didn't think you had it in you.
Focus. It'll be time to congratulate me later.
Nothing much I can say to that.
Here's the raid! I'm ready to go!
Thunderblade! Illuminate the red! Magic is there! Not on my watch! Burning strike! Light astral energy!
Shield and face!
Photon blast!
Surprise!
Water!
No further!
Annihilation! Dance!
I can
Immortal
carve
drop!
through
Radiant! Pierce! Lightning!
Negative
Roar! Glacial spear! Where's the Eagle Pile?
Catapult! Here's the Torna!
Benediction light.
Here I go! I'm
Guardian Shield!
That'll bring you down!
I'm ready to go!
I'll be saving this one! Annihilation!
I'll take
Toss
one.
in here! By the power of
I
flame!
think the death without a great fear! Prepare to be seen!
No further!
Burning strike!
Armor won't save you! Take it! I'm ready!
Shion, astral energy! Full throttle!
Not a problem. Although Dohin can take that shit.
Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art
Shoot
she's
it.
casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her
Shoot
body
it.
won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim!
There you go.
Forgive me.
Ooh.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
He's
Not
punched
her.
the shit out
I
of her.
meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
Oh, considering I just punched the
We're
shit
not
out
even
of her.
supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that
Isn't that guy with
case...
the glasses following
I'll
us?
take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit.
Nah.
I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hire, but that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole mess.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is real.
You can't atone. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of souls, forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make it, punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your...
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve.
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right?
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by...
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who?
Yeah. The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back.
It does tell us one thing, at least. Someone here in LENEGIS is...
There's no question. That attack was...
by someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon.
Oh, there goes that. Okay, back at full. And 1440 elemental attack. 2400 an attack. 1600. I don't know what penetration does. So this one. It's really only Kisara and Rinwell are getting skilled right now. Another cutscene.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah.
Man, I'm good.
It's that voice.
I am so good at this.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Yeah, just do the light thing. What's going on? Okay. That looks like the wedge. You probably needed a Danon and a Renin because of dark and light. So what happened?
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Well, where's the thorns? The hell? Okay.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right.
I have questions.
It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct.
But what the hell happened
Dark
to him?
astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so,
the dark spirit
maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
And Dana is
But
light.
the
so
will
it's
of
good.
Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth,
This
then I
whole
want
thing
to
is gonna
find out
end with
more.
no more astral energy existing, isn't it?
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was...
What do you make of it? Do you still think...
Maybe it's trying to tell us something.
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people.
That's your grand theory? That we're being...
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will...
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy...
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway?
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for...
The strength of their intent.
Okay. If her ancestor was the first one with thorns, how'd she, you know, to have ancestors? That sounds horrible. Also, this is happening on its own. I have no control over this. Yay, another
Soon,
cutscene.
we might very well learn the truth behind. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens,
I've
I'm
got nothing else
determined
to
to
do.
save Shion and Dana.
I've got nothing else to do. Okay.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
Yeah, I recognize this place.
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
It is.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Right back.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Indeed.
For the people of LENEGIS, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of...
It's off limits even for lords, then?
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place, whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Yeah.
Did no one ever
True.
talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
There's some plants. I like plants. Nice plants. Hold tree. Good research tree. There's something back here I can take. Give me something to steal. A whole lot of nuts.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the... With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait. I think I've found one that was successful.
Yeah, you're standing next to him.
Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
We already knew this.
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
Volron's Danon. Or Renan.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Different kind of role.
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and LENEGIS combined. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest.
So they reused the title.
It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
Puppet
Even
ruler.
supposing that's
Proxy.
true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the sovereign, then who was it?
Lady in red.
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
Mysterious lady in red that Renan
Red
can't
Woman?
see.
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. Only 2 sovereigns. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, but it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it.
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Yay! Friendship. Serves as the base. Theory. Infinity. Vector stagger adjustment. Couple check. Stabilization measure. Raise. Mechanism. No effect both of the methods before experience found. Any 2 adjustments of success. Hold. Configuration. So is Volron a Danon? The maiden is a support mechanism. ID crest. Renin subject serves its functions. With supplemental dark astral lax. Okay. Ceremony. Version. Maintain stability over the sovereign's powers. There can be and the sovereign must be. The sovereign has been observed to positively impact the stability of subjects. Bit. Informed by the details of the plan. Mental instability in the maid has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rampage. Considered maiden registration for revolt and be returned to its original household. So I think that meant she owned that they revoked. With the power, containers, 6 elements. 5 of these, right? Alone for any lords. Only the dark to maintain inside a forbidden zone. Must honorably formed. Secret existence. The spirit outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of mass energy containment stabilization. Restored in dormant state. Energy stored attempt competes in the current contest to master allotted type mass energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own musical strength. It's not often discovered and how it materializes. Active master cores may resonate with other master cores located unstable. Generation of the Renaissance master cores will cease to be deployed, and the crown contest will be permanently halted. So this is like the last crown contest. Internals, collection, embedded in biological subject, establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to master activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because of some of the energy is claimed to be fused, the host must be placed in the range of a spirit vessel, and the energy is collected and must be employed to harvest this energy. Because of the crown contest, hallucinate and provide the spirit codes be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their deaths. Spirit codes must be embedded in the zugos and control them with parts. Increased physical load on the host body can produce increased energy emissions. Compose the host body to reduce the depth maximum energy use depending. Okay, so that's about the stones in their hands. Shut up, music. Large-scale astral energy converter primarily converts the elemental composition of astral energy in terms of activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved in place of sovereign maiden Renaissance. It's in the central core of LENEGIS. It is comprised of that English broke my brain there. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel, residence zones around a large conduit, along with the defensive layer surrounding it. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. It is designed before the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residence zones. However, because it only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan is to address the damage is needed. So maybe Alpha didn't kill them and all this did. In that phase, LENEGIS serves as a central base of operations for management and execution of Indiana. Any personnel present to refer to the lower is still written from the classified zone. Executed. Okay, so basically, maybe Alpha didn't kill everybody, and it was activating this thing that did. And it seems like they were doing the crown contest to make sure they had charged master cores to make a Renaissance if they were successful. No, wait, no. This. Master Spirit Vessel placed on Dana for the Spirit Challenge ceremony served as the tip of LENEGIS' conduit from which it separates upon landing in Danon waters. It extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Danon. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Danon. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's actual energy en masse. The energy is then transmitted to Rena's via LENEGIS. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, LENEGIS' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. How its function was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. The landing point remained the same as that of the previous model. Through the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easy connections to the center of Dana. Okay, so Alphen going nuts ruined the first wedge. Oh. Hey, the mask. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries risk of inducing neuromuscular side effects. Due to the loss of production facilities incurring from the partial destruction of LENEGIS, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Okay. After seeing reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. And it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renan and Dana's national places. It serves as the realm's current Lord and has achieved this without using any such powers. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Given this mental effectiveness, the population control monitoring of the situation will continue. Collapse the cognitive facilities, the extreme mental repression, greed, and violence and fear, including the key to this style of rule. If the subject loses its autonomy, it becomes desensitized to fear, and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. When such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and enslavement. Soldiers in LENEGIS who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sections of the trial and will be monitored. Okay, so he was very till they broke? Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the populace chosen as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. Third is well known fighter and to learn to administer. And its corresponding magic core will also assign an ID threat indicating the element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical aptitude. Age and bearing, for one of the strongest born from lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out magical power. They take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory, and allows those who include the deployment. Furthermore, in the event that the acting lord is incapacitated or can no longer serve in the position, the person is declared. Sure. The second successful case of sovereign test subject verification. Goron. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risk it poses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. So the first successful case of years, previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will succeed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a leader. I wonder what Plan 2 is. I need a drink after all that reading. Okay. This was my room. This was my bed. And this was that other room I went into. Okay, whatever they're working on, they finished. I'm running out of time here. Something's happening. Enough vision time. This is obviously light energy. Where's my helmet?
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill.
Why am I naked?
I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
You should put a little too much in there. It did a little more than help with the pain.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... if I don't head back, LENEGIS will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough.
You're a lucky son of a bitch.
Please, live for me, Alphen.
How did he get out of the ship somewhere else without remember being there?
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape LENEGIS.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with LENEGIS crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result.
Well, she knew you might have
More
nervous
than
system
anything,
damage.
she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Oh, this is exhausting. I feel like I've only done like a half hour of playing in this 2.5 hours. Well, that's interesting. Glad this is here. Open this closed door. Hey, it's the room.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Okay.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
It's a nice outfit.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
So the thorns caused him to lose control.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told.
Like the blue feather
The
shoulder.
Sovereign. They linked Alphen's consciousness to LENEGIS itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
To do what?
Linked to LENEGIS itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. LENEGIS had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first.
With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could.
Got him 300 years.
The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well.
How could they... No,
please,
you can't touch.
Forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or
so they need the Renis Alma and those two to try and move the thorns into it. Hey, look at them outfits. Can't see.
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
Looks good.
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
That's a great outfit.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
The hell's with that double take?
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
Yeah, the channeling ceremony wasn't
it's the
to do that,
barest
though.
sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it.
I like the glowy blue feathers.
Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search LENEGIS and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, We can protect the world and save Shion at the same time!
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
His are not so crazy, man.
How do you know it's me you're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included.
But hers is nice. If only you could get the feathers with the ponytail. I don't like the braid wrap around the head.
Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop.
That's not as interesting.
Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was... I'm so sorry, Shion.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them.
Jinx.
But once they're gone...
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life.
We're gonna get the biggest group hug ever.
You're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fun, and it's for my sake.
You're worth fighting for.
That's great.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes, until our future. It's
His hand looks
finally in our
small
hands.
with that, but I also like how the fingers are armored like that. It's cool. Yeah, made him. Oh, that's perfect. We should get out of this one. Look at that. Casting time. No problem. Do I already have that one somewhere? Yeah. Okay. I still need to make that thing. There I got the item and the ultimate ingredient. That's a weapon.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on LENEGIS for the sake of her people.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The one separating the Renans from the Danans.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh?
You inherited that legacy.
Don't I know it?
Yay.
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we
I
can.
don't know what a lodestar is. Now I feel dumb. Thanks a lot, Rinwell. I feel stupid now. Ooh, picture change. Change. See, feathered headpiece. I want the feather headpiece with the ponytail. That kind of works. Not the same though. I don't like that hair. Man. just have to get used to. So why can't that be an attachment? It's nice. Arr. That's nice. Whoa, look at these things. Tail. Fire. Oh, that looks heavy. Such a shame. Oh well, I'll keep it here. I'm gonna go out the door here and see what's next at least. What's this called? Altar chamber. I don't know where I'm going. I have it reaching an end here somewhere.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
I'm not ready for this. I'm out of time.
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
I'm getting a little bit of a shorter cape there. Practically on the ground. Seems like those powers can't actually do anything.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
It didn't actually open though. Okay. I got a boss fight coming up.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels...
in a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles.
Hold up, decadence?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Burn. Okay, we done? Alright, I gotta end this here. I hopefully finish this game tomorrow. I'm gonna try and be on for longer, but we'll see how life goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button, subscribe for more. It helps me out a lot. And as always, more on the way. Until then, I hope you have a good one.